Good morning, East Texas. It's time to rise and shine with the sun. The Grant Saline Sun. Right here on Vztv. Grab your coffee and come join the fun.
Welcome, guys. And pardon me while I finish my little post telling everybody out there in Facebook land that we are live. Good morning. And I want to say welcome to our new studio. We're not going to reveal it. You're not going to see it yet. We're going to have tight shots on us today. What we got going on over there, Bubba? Okay, I was going up and down in my ears. I want to make sure we have moved to our new studio. It's an in-home studio. We want to thank Ryan Hansen so much for allowing us to use clandestine location 67 for as long as he did. But it just felt right for us to have our own studio. And so we built us an in-house studio. It is looking amazing. Even though you can't see it, you're going to have to take my word for it. I am a trusted journalist after all. But you have to just understand, we've got carpet coming in thanks to Canton Carpets. We reached out to Brandon Ramsey over there and Jeff, and they hooked us up. They got some carpet coming in this Friday, and so we just want to say thank you to everybody that's helped us get to the point. Corbin and Katie for everything they did. When you see it, you're gonna be like, wow! Especially when you see the little VZTV logo on the wall. That was hand painted by our own Katie Hicks, and I mean, we still think it looks like a sticker, and she did that on her own. But anyway, we are going to get to business today because we've got a lot of work to do, and we're going to jump right to it. No sense in me doing the smoke signals when we've had all this rain, so I don't know that there's going to be any smoke anyway. So let's throw it over here to the man that would know, Kevin Palmer, Van Zandt County Fire Marshal. How you doing, my brother?
Doing well, brother. How about yourself?
Oh, we're doing good, as you can tell. What do you think about the new studio? Let's tease everybody.
Man, I think it's looking really great. Y'all have done a great job in a very short amount of time, and it's going to get even better.
Yeah, you were supposed to be over here yesterday, and of course we ran out of weekend. Every bit of this was hand painted, and everything was taped off and done by about two people, Corbin and Katie. Mm-hmm. And so we bumped you to today, which I'm glad we did, because as we were talking about, we just got a little bit of rain, and there may be some misunderstandings when it comes to a little bit of rain falling out of the sky when it comes to the burn ban. But before we do that, let's jump into how you doing, my man. How's things going for you?
It's going well, man. Just super busy. I tell people all the time, we've got way more things to do in my office than we have people in time. But I've got a good office, and my general expectation of my office is we do everything great. We don't do anything halfway, because when you do have things halfway, eventually you're going to have to come back and do it again. So we've assembled a really good team. We're moving forward. We're getting a lot of things done, and continue to move forward, onward and upward, as they say, and just keep going after it, man. Just like a train, just keep going down the line.
Well, I want to say that I personally know I've gone through the interview process with you personally, and I know that you exactly asked that. Exactly, of your every advocate that goes up there. And so I know y'all are busy. Y'all have got more on your shoulders than just going around making sure how many people can fit in a restaurant and stuff like that. Expand upon some of the areas that people may not be familiar that fall in your lap. And we're not talking about best facilities, and we're not talking about game rooms. We're talking about there's other like septic systems and new permitting. Let's go ahead and revisit that and let people know who they're going to be dealing with if they decide to move into Van Zandt County.
Yeah, so as a fire marshal, the fire marshal side of it, I kind of call it the three pillars. You have fire inspections and code enforcement, which is whether it's new construction or businesses that already exist, daycares. We have to inspect those, so there's that process of it. There's also the fire investigations that we have. Whenever there's a fire, whether it be a grass fire, a wildland fire, house fire, the fire departments, we usually call me out there to do a fire investigation. And then a big part that I want to get a lot better at, again, we just not necessarily haven't had the time, is getting out there and educating the public education. Because, the fire marshal's office is still a part of the fire service.
Yes.
But, Grant Saline Fire Department, Canton Fire Department, South Van Zandt, they are a suppression department, which means fire has started, we have to go put it out. Where in my office, we're all about prevention. We want to prevent the fires from ever happening. And so on the fire marshal side, yeah, that's that part of it. We also have on-site sewage facilities, OSSF, which is just a fancy name for septic tanks, right? And before I took this job, I didn't think there was much to it. You dug a hole in the ground, you threw a tank, off you went, right?
I mean, you're catching poo. What do you mean? What else is there to it?
How much more could it be? But no, it is very scientific. It is very mathematical to do it right. And so we permit and inspect every single septic tank that comes into Van Zant County.
And there are some tight regulations that y'all have to adhere to. And even in that interview process, you were asking me about, meticulous measurements and stuff like that. Ask me what I would do. I mean, evidently that's something you encounter. Somebody goes out there, they don't read the tape measure right, whatever it is. You're in a zero tolerance situation. You can't let stuff slide because number one, if something goes bad, it's very easily provable that you let it go awry. But you're a by the book kind of feller anyway, so that wouldn't even be a consideration. So let's lay out some of these, hard nosed numbers that you have to really enforce, so people can't say, "Hey, I didn't know."
Yeah. So the process starts with a homeowner or a business owner. The homeowner or the business owner doesn't necessarily work with the fire marshal's office a whole lot when it comes to septic because. So let's go back to the state regulatory agency over OSSF is the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. That's who oversees everything. That's who writes the rules for everything. And we have what's called an authorized agent, which for us, for the county, is the county judge. So the county judge has signed a contract with TCEQ saying that we will abide by all of the TCEQ regulations, and Van Zant County employees through my office will make sure that we do everything correctly. And so, going out there and everything starts with the installer because all septic tanks have to be now installed by a certified installer. For the most part, it's not like the old days where you could go dig your own pit and put your own septic tank system in.
Right.
It's just not like that anymore. Whether we agree with it or we disagree with it, that's the law now.
As they say, it is what it is.
Yeah. Because trust me, there's a lot of things that, fall within my purview that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's we got to do what we got to do.
And this is you're not asking Kevin Palmer to bend the rules. You're asking a fire marshal to break the law.
And the county judge, because if we go against it, then, we've signed a contract. Well, the county itself, the citizens itself, because, governments do not make money. So if the county gets a fine, it's really Bert that gets a fine, Kevin that gets a fine, the entire county, because that's who's going to have to end up paying it, right? And I got the question a couple weeks ago, I think it was, why do you care so much about septics? Well, it's the same thing with fires, because we also have to respond to if we get an emergency complaint, such as raw sewage on the ground, we have to respond to that location within 24 hours, and it has to be rectified within that time.
Yeah, it's not the day like my grandfather had a house that had a cesspool next to it.
Yeah.
You could run out a pipe out there and just dump it. It was fertilizer.
Yeah.
Nowadays you've got hazardous material that has to be deployed if something like this starts, happening. And when we look at some of the processes when they come in, so they can't say that they didn't know where. Tell them how to go about. Can they do it online? Do they need to come into the office and set up an inspection? What is something? Because we have houses coming in. Well, the little subdivisions coming in left and right. People building the houses.
Yeah.
Anybody watching this, what would be the process? Hey, I'm fixing to put in a new house, and I want to get this done right, and I don't want the extra cost of doing it wrong and having to redo it. Where would they do that?
Yeah. So we have we can't recommend just one installer, but we have a list of recommended installers, and what that list is basically they're good companies. What we consider legitimate companies. We haven't cited them for numerous violations. They haven't done bad business practices. So this is a list of what we call generally good septic tank installers. Making contact with them is the first part, because they know the rules just as well as we do. So if there's different things that you want to do, go ahead and get you an installer. They'll come out to the property. You'll tell them what you want, and they'll basically tell you all the different options that they have. And then, like I said, the homeowner or the business doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of interaction with our office, because once you hire that installer, that's when they're going to submit and start getting the paperwork together to put our permit application,
Right.
which our permit application is on our website as well. But the homeowner, they sign a couple pages. But other than that, it's most of the conversations that we have, the most people that we work with is actually the installers.
And so choose wisely, because that could be a very costly choice. Just because somebody's got a little track hoe and a trenching machine,
100%.
don't just take their word at it.
Yeah.
Be sure and get an incredible installer.
Because like I said, it comes in, some people say, well, if I'm building a house, what kind of system can I get? Well, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many bathtubs, sinks? That's where all those different calculations come in. What are you going to be using it for? And then with businesses, are you going to be, we're getting a lot of these metal buildings that are kind of like strip centers, right? Well, is there going to be an automotive center? Is there going to be a kitchen? Because if there's any oils involved, then you got to have an oil water separator. So it just gets very, scientific, mathematical. Any little deviation from something can change every other equation and give you something different, right?
Right. And so basically, do your due diligence, get
Yeah.
out there, find a reputable company, research them. Let's move on to the burn ban. We have a very dry spell going on right here. We're hitting really high numbers, and we had a little sprinkle today.
Yep.
But let's go back into what goes into qualifying the current conditions to call a burn ban.
Yeah, so one of the big myths is that the fire marshal orders a burn ban. That is not how it works.
Right.
Everything we do comes out of Texas Government Code, Texas Administrative Code. Somebody tells us how it is. And per the Texas Government Code, the Commissioner's Court is actually who sets a burn ban. It's based off recommendations and information from the Texas A&M Forestry Service. So I get weekly emails from a guy named Matt Burnett, who works for the Texas A&M Forestry Service. He's a regional coordinator with current fire conditions.
Right.
I posted the current fire conditions on my website yesterday with a couple links, so you can actually view the maps and see what it is. There's many indicators that I look at, that the Texas A&M Forestry Service looks at for wildfire conditions, and one of them is called the Keach-Byram Drought Index, KBDI. And what that does is it basically takes a measurement of the first 8 inches of soil. And so if your number is 0, that is showing that the first 8 inches of the soil is completely saturated. It is wet. If it's 800, the first 8 inches are completely dry. And right now, Van Zandt County is about a 750. So I guess y'all got a little sprinkle here. I live in Canton. I did not get said sprinkle,
Right.
but even a sprinkle is not going to take it from 750 to more. We're looking at more 600 and below.
Right.
And like I said, that's one indicator that we use. But even if we got a rain shout, like a good rain today, that would be that more than likely would not be enough to lift the burn ban.
And we see it, of course, me and my son have both been on the fire department up here. We see it every year. You call a burn ban, and then it gets a good little rain, and then for the next 3 days, you get called out.
People think it's over. They're out doing it.
So,
it's been so hot. It's been so dry. There's just so much dead vegetation, which those things, 5 to 10 minutes after it rains, is readily ignitable. So one ember, one little thing goes wrong, and all of a sudden you've got a huge fire.
Right. And so some of the stipulations that are in place right now, we know there's no outside burning and all that. But let's just say there's a welder out there just getting into the trade, just opened up his own business. Because I'm pretty sure most of the seasoned welders out there know somebody that just got them moved from Forney down here and opened them up a ranch, and they bought them a little TIG welder at Harbor Freight, and they're over there. Let's go ahead and lay out some areas where you can't do that might spark catastrophe.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because not every burn ban is created equal. So that's why on my website, if you just Google Van Zandt County Fire Marshal, the first legitimate hit you get is going to come to my website. You'll know it's mine because at the very top, I always have whether we're in a burn ban or not. And so like right now we are, and then there will be a link to the actual order that was signed by the county judge and the commissioners. And so in this particular one, we do allow welding, but you have to have a spotter for each welder, which means you got one person welding. The spotter's job is just to make sure that, we haven't started anything up. They also have to have each spotter has to have a fire extinguisher, and you have to have, I think, at least 100 gallons readily available. Because we have had several fires started from people welding, and when I go to talk to the welder, it's almost the same story every time. I was welding, there was this little bitty patch that caught on fire. I went to go get some water. I turned around, and all of a sudden, it was an acre, right? And that's the kind of conditions that we're in. And that things that normally happen, which normally if you're a welder and you see a little thing, you might just need a bottle of water to put it out. No big deal. But conditions are so much right now that once it gets down there, and if the wind's blowing just right, it's going to be gone before you know it.
And the whole grass isn't all brown. We've got green on top of it. We have brown below it. So you may think you put the fire out and it could steadily be going underneath, and then next thing you know, it pokes its head up, 500 yards down the way.
Yeah, and in these conditions, with it being so dry, stuff is dying and going to the ground, and it's basically creating a mulch in the under layer. So even when it gets onto there, even if you see green on the top, down below it, there's a lot of dead vegetation. And that dead vegetation, it takes nothing to get that stuff on fire and get going.
And as a firefighter, it's hard to get that stuff put out. You think, they've got that big truck, they're out there. But I kid you not, you can make a pasture look like a swamp, and you can still kick up a red ember when you put enough
Absolutely.
pressure. And so always be careful. Plus winds and all that. But under this right here, just keep the lighter in your pocket. Don't be throwing cigarettes out your window. That's how I've seen an uptick on the calls on shoulders, little spot fires here and there. Also, I saw this, something I never thought about, and it wasn't, don't guess really raised up around here, but when I was hauling fifth wheels out in California, they would talk about trailer chains. Because out there, even the smallest spark could burn mountains down. So is that something we need to be concerned with around here too as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure that if you've got a trailer, you got the change up off the ground. If you have any, Texas did away with vehicle inspections, which I'm kind of, on the fence as to whether I like that or not. But just making sure you don't have anything that could cause a spark over there on the shoulder of the road, because that absolutely, I think we've seen a couple of those in Van Zandt County where they were more than likely caused by either, I can't definitively say, was it a cigarette, was it a chain, but it was by a car passing down the road that caught the shoulder on fire, and caught the ditch. And just I don't know if you saw, but the old Bethel fire we had about a week ago with Van Zandt County, South Van Zandt County was the primary, but we had Ben Wheeler, we had Van, we had an all call. Because, man, they did such a great job, all the firefighters, not just South Van Zandt there. They were first respond, and he was incident command. And, man, he did a bang-up job as the incident commander. Cody Craig did a great job, but they saved at least 4 houses. At least 4 houses.
I know I've heard a lot of praise come from that. A follower sent me that story, and like I said, good job, guys. And this isn't easy on the firefighter. I mean, you think it's hot outside walking from your house to your car. Imagine being out there in bunker gear and fighting a fire. I mean, it is.
In the smoke, in the heat. I came from the fire side. I was a Houston fireman for a long time, and we all, the saying, we hate wildland fires because it's all work and no glory.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you go to a house fire, you walk out, people are handing you bottles of water, giving you hugs. Everybody loves you. You go to a wildland fire, and it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. And it's a lot of hand tools. It's less water. There's a lot of hand tools involved. And like you said, you've got your protective gear on, but you're there in the fire where temperatures are 10 to 15 degrees higher. But we do it because we love it. In South Van Zandt, there was one house, it actually burned their, back privacy fence down. And it was, it was going to get into their backyard.
Knocking on the back door.
Right, literally knocking on the back door. And they saved that. And there were at least 3 or 4 more houses just like that they saved back there.
And let's now South Van Zandt, but a lot of those departments that were out there were volunteer 110%.
All of them were volunteer.
All of them are volunteer departments out there. And so when we talk about these guys doing this, they're not making bank and all that stuff. They're out there because they want to be out there and they had the time to fight.
Cody Craig, who happened to be the incident commander because he was the first officer on scene, he's a Dallas fireman. This was his day off.
Right.
He had no obligation to respond other than he wants to serve his community. He loves his community, and he's going to respond. And that's all the volunteers, right? And even when some of the paid fire departments around here get calls, when they request mutual aid, that mutual aid is from a volunteer department, right?
Exactly.
So if you haven't thanked the local volunteer firemen lately, please do, because they're busting their butt this time of year all the time, and they're not doing it for glory or certainly not for money, because there ain't none. And not only are they paying the price, but their families are paying the price.
And somebody coming from inside there also, if you want to show your appreciation, go down to Brookshire's or Walmart and donate a gallon of Gatorade. I mean, a pallet of Gatorade, a case of Gatorade, something like that. And think about it this way. It doesn't matter how much they have, because they put it back on the back wall. And when wintertime comes and those big donations aren't coming in, we're always going back to that back wall and grabbing something that was donated in the summertime, because when you're out there still fighting that structure fire, you're tired, you're hot. And you know what? Again, that bottled water may not go to that department. It may go to the neighboring department who doesn't have the donations and they need a bottle of water. And I'll tell you, there is nothing better tasting than a good old cold bottle of water when you're coming out of a house fire.
Yeah, and I always say, call and ask what they need, because like South Van Zant has a rehab truck. It's an old ambulance, and they convert it into rehab. So they put cheese crackers, they put beef jerky, they put the, like element stuff, electrolytes that you can put in the water, because you're burning sometimes upwards of 1,000 calories out there working.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go to rehab, you need some cheese crackers just for to put some calories back in your body so that you can get back into the fight.
Yeah,
you're burning so many calories out there, not just from the work, but the added heat and everything else that goes along with that.
And they have a goodie bucket over there for just that purpose. It has little bitty beef jerkies, little crackers and stuff like that for that rehabbing. So that firefighter come out, take a deep breath, put something in his system, and then go back and fight, so he can relieve the next guy that needs to come out.
Yeah. And then, most people think, if I go to volunteer at if I want to be a volunteer at a fire department, that means I have to fight fire. It's not the case at all.
Right here, I'm telling you right now,
not the case at all.
I'm not going in interior fights. I've told them that since I've started up there. And, of course, like I said, I've been away from it for about 6-7 months because I've been building this channel and just haven't had the time. But my love and passion, every time you and I talk, my love and passion for it's still the same. My respect is because I've been there. And I'll tell you right now, I'm a perimeter guy. I'm that guy that's running, getting people water. But guess what? That is helping that guy that can't hardly walk. He's barely trying to catch his breath. And so don't hesitate. And it could be just organizational. Come up there and be a guy that cleans the station, because a lot of people look at these fire departments as their own agency, their own entity and stuff like that. Is your protective services, and they're not going to turn down if you want to come up there and grab a brush and help wash a fire engine.
Absolutely. So, like you said, administrative stuff, helping out with that. They always need administrators. There's lots of paperwork that goes involved, lots of systems.
Yes.
And then at your structural fire, we need people changing out bottles, grabbing ladders, grabbing equipment. At these wildland fires, we need safety officers.
CDL drivers. If you can just drive a vehicle to go to a fire hydrant and put water in it and come back, you may not be able to hump a hose.
Yeah, but you're just staged there at the fire hydrant, so that when people come through, you're filling the trucks up. And that's just as valuable as the guy on the end of the nozzle.
Exactly.
Because without that water, there is nothing coming out the end of that nozzle. So you don't have to be a firefighter to be a volunteer at your local fire department.
And mine wasn't because I wasn't a firefighter. It's just because I'm an old feller that was very careless with my physical health growing up, and I've broken my back twice and stuff like that. Trust me, I've been up there. I've tried to hang with the young guys, and I realize it ain't happening, But you can always do something to help, because as I tell everybody, without the lug nut, the tire falls off. Without the tire, the car's useless. So if you want to break it down, the lug nut is one of the most important parts of the car. Yeah. You can be a valuable part if it is not through donations. It is through going up there. Hey, we've had people come up there and just drop off cookies and stuff like that. That helps morale.
We need people to do pre-fire plans so they can go to some of these buildings. And so if you have a skill, that skill, almost any skill, can be translated into something that can be used at the fire department fire suppression in general.
And even if you're a little housewife that likes to clean, one of the biggest arguments in a firehouse is who left this out. If you want to come up there and clean a house once or twice a week, you will be a hero.
And they will love you for it.
They will love
treat
you.
so
Yes,
good.
you will be the queen of the firehouse.
You will be treated very, very well.
Yes. So yes, there is always a place to tap in. So we wanted to come. I think you had a couple stories you wanted to share with us on incidents that you've been involved with that could give a little bit of people some insight as to perspective on what you deal with and what their responsibilities are involving and such.
Yeah. So, I've been the fire marshal here for a year and a half, and things are different everywhere that you go, right? And I'm not ignorant to the fact that things were done in Van Zandt County for a long time, way before I got here.
Don't say, no way.
So when a lot of times when I'm going to an illegal burn, and most people don't know, and maybe I'll leave you a packet whenever I go.
Please do.
That Texas has laws on outdoor burning, and very generally, again, there's laws. So I'm speaking in general terms, but I'll leave you a packet before I go. But very generally, even when there's not a burn ban, the only things that you're allowed to burn is naturally emanating material, tree limbs, leaves, things of that nature.
You mean the tires that cause the big old smoke signals
And
rising up over the hill?
The mattresses, I don't know what it is. People love burning mattresses. I don't know.
Nobody wants to touch them after they're done with them.
Yeah, no kidding. And whether I'm going to an illegal burn or to a burn ban, and they're mad because I'm giving them a citation for violating the burn ban. I'm always trying to educate, right? And my educational, speech on that will be, if you intentionally start a fire during a burn ban or it's illegal burning, you're burning up mattresses, and that fire gets away from you and goes and burns your neighbor's barn, your neighbor's house down, that is actually an arson. And I always say, please don't make me arrest you for arson, right? I don't want to do that.
And that would mean the 89-year-old lady that's out here gardening and thinking she's burning just some dead shrubs, and as well as the guy that's tattooed up all the way to his neck and it ain't his first trip to prison.
Absolutely, 100%. And so I don't want to do that. I'm here to serve this community. I want to educate people. So yeah, we had an incident. I don't know if you heard about the fire in the Wynn community that's over there by Canton.
I heard about that one as well.
I actually had to arrest two kids. I mean, they're over 18, but they were young. I call them kids, but they actually started that fire. And so I had to arrest them for arson because one house was burned totally to the ground and the other house had severe damage to the other side. So they really left me no choice on that. And I hated doing it. But that's what you got to do sometimes.
And the other day, it's really funny I'm saying this, but the other day I was at Brookshire's and I saw somebody shot an artillery shell up in the air and it popped off. And then I think somebody else said that there was another firework going off somewhere else. You may have leftovers from 4th of July, but don't be shooting them off.
Hold on until New Year's Day or something else, because right now is just not the time with that Wynn community. That's how it started. Is somebody shot off one of those artillery shells, it landed, and as soon as it landed, boom, it was gone. There was no stopping it. And it was, Canton Fire was the first one to respond there. I think they had like a 3 or 4 minute time of arrival. So from time of 911 call to a fire department being on scene was only 3 to 4 minutes. And when they got there, there was already 2 acres involved, right? And one of the structures, I think, was already going. And so
and at this point now you can't focus really on the pasture fire because you got to worry about the
structures and the exposures and everything that goes. That's a neighborhood. That's a community, right?
Exactly.
And so you're talking about, and these are not $1 million homes, right? So this is not a situation.
A lot of them older. So I mean, you think about it, that stuff is aged. It's the water's out of the materials and stuff like that. It hits it, and as they say, saving foundations is about all you're doing. Yeah.
So that was the cautionary tale of people got upset with me if I do write a burn ban violation, but I don't. It's more of it's because I love you. Like I don't want to have to come and arrest you for arson or for something bigger. God forbid something happens and somebody dies. You can't take that back, right?
And that's something that you don't want to live with either. Even if you didn't put the cuffs on somebody, that you don't want to carry somebody's life and their memories and livelihood. As we talked about the studio we're sitting in right now, it was an electrical fire. It wasn't nobody's fault, but a DIY construction type deal, but you look at what happened. You know, we lost family memories and all that good stuff, and it was just boom. If anybody's been through a fire, it's devastating. Don't put that burden on somebody.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things is that I get the I didn't know. So here's all the different ways that you can check for a burn ban. And one, you'll see when I give you that packet, whenever you decide to burn outside, there is a responsibility that you're taking on. Just like when you drive a car, you need a driver's license,
right.
You need to know the rules of the road. You don't need a license because, in fact, the county cannot permit any type of burning. Only TCEQ can actually give you a burning permit.
Right.
But there is education that you have to know. And one of those things is you have to verify that we're not in a burn ban. So different ways you can verify we're in a burn ban is you can Google or, whatever search engine you use, Van Zandt County Fire Marshal will take you to our website. I update it just as soon as we are. So at the very top of the page, it'll tell you whether or not we're in a burn ban. It'll have the actual order. That order is also posted on the county's website. If you're on Facebook, I put it on my Facebook just as soon as I can, and then just about, I think every fire department in Van Zandt County will share it. I've seen the Grand Sling sign.
You send it to me quite often. You'll get it out to me pretty quick. Of course, I also get it through, like you said, all the other fire departments put out. It's pretty easy to find out if we're under a burn ban.
And then, I don't have internet, right? Call the non-emergency number at the sheriff's department and ask them, because whenever I get back with the signed order in my hand, when I send that email out, it includes every single fire chief and it includes dispatch.
Right.
They need to know as well. You just, whether it's through the internet or a quick call, it would take you literally 30 seconds to find out if we're in a burn ban.
And also use a little bit of common sense. I mean, if we've been dry, we haven't gotten any rain for the past 3 months.
110 outside.
Yeah, it's pretty wise. Even if you don't know if there's a burn ban,
just check.
Just check. Exactly. Call up. Say, hey, are we? If we are, we are. We're not. We're not. And so, what are some of the penalties? Like, say you get busted for a firework going off, like these young men are. What are some of the severity that they could be facing?
They are facing. I ended up charging them with so there's different types of arson, right? So arson would be I go and I burn a building down. That's a second-degree felony. Some of the enhancements is if you burn down a house, which is arson of a habitation, or if you burn down a place of worship. Those are first-degree felonies. The ones to where you intentionally start a fire and then recklessly destroy the property of another, that's a state jail felony. But there are enhancements if you burn down like someone's house or something like that, somebody gets hurt, things of that nature. So I ended up booking them in for the state jail felony arson. And
so, I mean, this isn't just, hey, you're going to go up here, do some defensive driving and walk away. This is a serious case.
And again, I take no joy in writing their arrest warrant for those young men, right? Because it was stupid what they did.
Right.
But unfortunately you can't take it back, and there are lessons to be learned. There was another one, the day of the Old Bethel fire, I had about 4 fires that I was bouncing around. We just had a lot of fires that day.
Yeah, when I talked to you to come on the show, you told me you had just gone home long enough to shower, grab something to eat, and go back out after it.
Yeah. So another guy went out to go burn some stuff on a burn pile that, again, even that burn pile was illegal because it had metal. It had a bunch of stuff that you're not supposed to burn, whether you're in a burn ban or not.
Right.
But he went and burned and burned up a guy's, I think he somewhere around the neighborhood of like 97 round bales of hay that he burned up. And those are what, $50 a bale right now?
Well, I pay $60 for mine. Yeah, so it's every bit of that.
Right. So how much was lost there? So I ended up having to charge that guy. Right. I don't like doing that. Right. And that's why whenever I go out there and I get the question of, well, why do you care? Why are you giving me a ticket? It's because I love you and I don't want bigger things to happen later.
Because if you do your job right, then the system works properly.
Yeah.
And you've been that way, like I said, since we've known each other. You've talked about coming on the show, educating people, and that because you don't want to do that. And the best way to do that is inform them before you ever even have to interact with them.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, man, I'm in the educational phase of my fire marshalship here in Van Zandt County. To where eventually the I don't knows, and well, I've done this, I've been doing this way forever. it's going to take a while, right, to try to get that out. But eventually we've got to get to a point to where everybody knows, to where if you're burning illegal stuff, you know you're doing it illegally, and like you're going to get in trouble if you get caught, right?
And you can just expect it. It's like if you get pulled over by a highway patrolman for speeding, you can expect a ticket. Those fellas don't come up there and
No,
give you
they're not big on they're not big on the warnings.
No, so you know, and so let's say that somebody buys a house and the good old boy system is what the septic system when they bought when it was put in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's been functioning just fine for all these years. It gets sold to a new person coming in. There's an inspection process with there. Are they liable for the the installation of those before the code?
No, because again, that's just not the right thing to do.
Right.
Could we do it? Yeah, we could, but it's just not the right thing to do. So a saying that we have in our office, that would be let's make it right.
Right.
Let's. I can't. My magic wand is in the shop right now, so I don't have that. So we can't go
Better
back.
hurry up because Halloween's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And you need to get it ready.
So we can't go back in time and fix what was already happened. But we will work with that homeowner that has the bad tank and do everything that we can to make that as cost efficient, to make it right as we possibly can, and not be punitive over it. We're just trying to make it right because again, we're here to serve the citizens of Van Zandt County.
And it's one property into compliance at a time as y'all discover them.
100%, yeah.
All righty. Well, I mean, we've rocked along here about 30 so minutes here. Is there anything that we haven't really talked about? Any area that you wanted to discuss that you wanted to get out to the public that might be watching?
Yeah, like I said, more things to do than I have people in time, because you mentioned we got the fire marshal stuff. We've got the on-site sewage facilities, which is not just permitting and inspecting, but we also have to respond to the complaints, which, a lot of times is solid waste that's actually going on the ground. So that's a big part of it. But like you mentioned, my office is the permitting authority for game rooms. Fireworks season, we have to permit all the fireworks stands every year. So 4th of July was a big time. About two to 3 weeks before 4th of July, we started getting all the calls in to go do the inspections on the fireworks stands. So I can't
sell fireworks out of my trunk?
I mean, you can, but you're probably going to get a visit from me, which, I'd rather you just, if you want to see me that bad, I'd rather you just invite me over. We'll hang out. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that, right? We play a big role in the emergency management. If nobody knows, the county has an emergency management plan. We have to, for tornadoes, natural disasters, all that kind of good stuff. Fire marshals play a huge role in that. We permit all of the salvage yards, salvage/junk yards in the county. We have to permit all of those. So it's just a lot. So to stay on septic just a little bit, one of the biggest complaints on septics that I get is, why is it taking you so long to get my permit? And every single time, this is what happened. So Bert hired an installer, and he signed that paperwork that I was telling you about. Mm-hmm. We're in late August right now.
Right.
Bert signed it June 3rd. Well, our office didn't get that application until August 17th.
Right.
We can't permit anything until an application gets dropped off, right? But the installer is never going to say, oh,
oops,
it took us, we didn't turn in your packet until 3 days ago. They always say, you know how the county is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the number one complaint I get is, why is it taking you so long? We have 30 days to process it. I think the longest we've gone is like 3 weeks. But normally I have, to the best of my ability, eliminated all of the red tape that I possibly can when you come to my office. So that when you come here, because what I explain to people in my office is, if you have an auto mechanic, right? You take your car to, and this auto mechanic does not do good work for you. You don't like them. You don't have to use that auto mechanic anymore. You can throw a rock and there'll be 10 more auto mechanics around there, right? But if you need something from the fire marshal's office, the county clerk's office, when you need it from a government agency, and you don't like their service, there are no other options.
Right.
And so we are very customer focused driven as to, we serve at the will of the people. And, I tell people all the time, if you're doing something that you can't draw a straight line, it shows it serves the people, stop doing it.
Right.
Because we are only here to serve the people.
Right. And of course, you talked about the customer driven service. We can't go anywhere without talking to Miss Michelle and the rest of the folks that are in your group that I met when I was going through there. You got a good group of folks that are out there running the miles. It's not just all you. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to the gang up there at the office.
Yeah. So my office staff, my chief deputy clerk is Michelle Beaver. She is the heart, brains, and soul of our organization.
Yeah, she
right.
is.
She touches every single aspect of what we do. She has a servant's heart. She wants to do the right thing. You're talking about being by the book. I tell people all the time, our office is not just by the book, we are the book.
When I went through the interview, she's the one that intimidated. You look at him, you think, oh, he'd be the one that intimidated you. No, I look over this matronly woman in a dress, and she says, okay, nobody has failed this test, and if you do, it is going to be heck. And I went, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated now.
Yeah, she has. We have very high standards for ourselves.
Yes, you do.
And a lot of it is, trying to reconcile, my personal views of government, and that I don't like big government. I want small government.
We've had this conversation.
Much less regulation. So how do I reconcile that now as a government employee, right? So I've always been a fan of running lean. When you run lean with people, you don't throw people at problems. You throw efficient solutions at problems to fix them, right? And so we're all about that. We're trying to become more efficient in everything that we do. We are absolutely not perfect. We want to return every phone call as soon as we can. But I'll be honest with you, man. There's been times that I've been running so much. It's been a week since I've looked at my emails and my voicemails, and it's been 2 weeks since I've returned your call. And I don't like that, right? But it's kind of the nature of the beast. It's what do we have going on right now? Like I said, right now I had within the last month I've made 3 arson arrests. I've had several fires, and some of that stuff is going to take bigger priority over a trash pile that has been sitting there for a week. We're going to get to it. I wish we had more people. I want to handle it. I wish we had enough people to handle it that day, but I don't. Right.
And what people don't understand is with every action, there's a laundry list of paperwork that's got to follow with that.
Tons of paperwork for me to go back. Right. It's not just putting the cuffs on somebody and taking them in. That's the easy part. It's all the paperwork, the warrants, the packet that I have to turn in to the DA with all the evidence. That is hours and hours and hours of stuff that we have to do. But going back to the shout outs, Michelle Beaver, she was the one that was here when I got here. None of us are long in the tooth within this office. I don't know that she's even been there for 2 years yet. She might be coming up on our 2-year milestone. And then we have a new clerk. Her name is Floor. She's awesome. She's very customer service driven. Man, she's picking it up, going a million miles an hour with it. I have Sharon Markle, who is our environmental specialist supervisor. She has her designated representative certification. She recently became a site evaluator.
She's a workhorse.
We got her certified.
She's your FTO?
Yeah, we got her certified as a health investigator. So with that, Dr. Daly, if nobody knows Dr. Daly, he has his own medical practice right across the street from Canton Junior High. He is the local health authority for Van Zandt County. So during COVID, he was very big working with that. But under his authority, we can get people designated as health investigators to where when they go out to these health and safety code violations, which 2 more things I didn't tell you about that our office is responsible for. One of them is illegal dumping. We're not the only ones that do that. I know quite a few of the sheriff's deputies that will write people for illegal dumping and things like that. But we also have what's called abatement. And so abatement in the county is what most people in the city call code enforcement. But we're not, like, code enforcement can tell you you got to cut your grass, right? That's not us. We're talking about actual health and safety code violations where properties have been abandoned, they harbor insect carrying vermin or mosquitoes or things like that. It's going to affect the health and safety of our actual general public. So when we have those types of plays, she's certified to actually go do the investigation from start to finish. To
Y'all just had one of those situations discussed in Commissioner's Court about a property that the county is responsible for.
Absolutely, right. So I don't want to do any of those things, but a lot of times the untold stories is, the one that broke my heart the worst was I think it was 80-year-old great grandmother 60-something-year-old grandmother, 30-something-year-old daughter with 2 young kids. Her 2-year-old infant had recently passed away. All of the husbands were gone or dead and had left all their crap around the property, right? So me issuing them a citation was going to do nothing.
Except for add to their heartache.
So I was able to get some people to actually get out there and donate a dumpster to bring out to the property and get that property cleaned up and stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to do this. Hey, Lynn Bill, you see, if you ever come across that situation, I got a boy. I know a man.
Yeah.
He sponsors my spit tune on my daily show. Thank you for getting my wife and my dad off my butt for paying me to dip. But yeah, that's proactive work from a government office, which is what, in my mind, in my opinion, as I've been very vocal about, should be what the government's for. Yeah. It shouldn't be to oppress. It should be to help somebody get beyond a situation, and something like that. It not only serves the community, but it also serves a family go beyond a hardship. And
Absolutely.
so I want to say, and anybody that doesn't know you, I've known you very short period of time actually, but we've grown very close over the past, I guess, 6 or so months. But that's truly how you operate. I mean, you're not a ball busting, walk tall with a big stick type guy. You're literally one of those guys. Hey, I'll bend over backwards to help you out if I can, but you've got to be working with me.
Absolutely. Don't even have to meet me halfway sometimes.
That's what I'm about to say.
You just got to take a half a step towards me, and I'll do the other 99 and a half, right?
Yeah.
Just there is some things that, as whether you're deciding you're the one that's burning, you're a property owner with a septic tank, all those different things. Like, I will help you I will help you as much as I possibly can.
And there were a couple guys left off of the shout out list. Let's go ahead and wrap up your whole crew. They're still in the office, right?
Yeah. So we have Bo Wisenant. I eventually brought him over as another environmental specialist, but I lost my deputy fire marshal that was really, really good for a long time. So I'm transitioning him over to a deputy fire marshal. I've gotten him enrolled in some of the first fire inspector 1 and 2 is what he's enrolled in right now. So he's going to be transitioning over to my deputy fire marshal position so I can get some help on the inspection investigations. And we also have Lonnie Smith, who is the volunteer Myrtle Springs assistant fire chief, but he works full time for me, and he will be an environmental specialist as well.
So, and we want to say thank you to all those guys, because again, it's not just you running up and down the roads, it's them running up and down the roads as well. And we know your office is out there stretched thin as it is. Hopefully you'll be able to get some help come the next budget.
There's been a couple times that I have run through a full tank of gas in one day and never left Van Zandt County.
And most people are like, golly, but you're literally everywhere, and the roster, the agenda is just stacking up on you as populations grow. And so we want to say thank you for all that.
Appreciate it.
Did you want to leave anybody with, again, let's go ahead and mention the links that tell people about the burn ban, what you can and can't do. Basically, don't. But, if you want to go and see what the letter of the law is, let's go ahead and tell people where they can find that out at.
Yeah, so the link to the order of the burn ban, and then also we have a link to where the packet that I'm going to give you, we have it online as well. If that's on the Van Zandt County Fire Marshal's website. So whether you go to the county website and you go to other offices, it'll show Van Zandt County Fire Marshal's office. Or again, if you just search in any search engine, Van Zandt County Fire Marshal, it'll take you to my page. And you're on the right one because it looks like a county web page, right? Mm-hmm. It's not all flashy. And at the very top, it'll have whether or not we're in a burn ban status. I kind of hesitate to, tell people on Facebook, but that is a way to check if we're in a burn ban. And I do post stuff on there a lot of times, but sometimes people message me on Facebook, and I'm not on there enough to get back on a legitimate question. So our emails, if you have a fire marshal related question, is firemarshal@vanzantcounty.org. Van Zandt County is all spelled out. If you have a septic related question, it's ossf@vanzantcounty.org. And the last thing that I want to kind of put a plug in is I'm working with the Texas A&M Extension Office. If anybody knows, we have an AgriLife Extension Office here in Van Zandt County. It's right downtown, and Mr. Watson is the coordinator for that. And we're actually having a fire safety prevention conference on September 11th at the Farm Bureau Event Center that's right there in Canton. They've got a lot of really great speakers lined up. And it's a lot of it is, how do we prevent your house from becoming one that could potentially be burned up in a wildfire? So it's such great information. Again, that flyer is posted on my Facebook page.
And we've shared it as well.
That's awesome. And I think I have one in my truck, so I owe you 2 pieces of paper now. I owe you the
And you don't have to be part of the firefighting community to be a part of this.
This is actually for the public. It's not for the fire service. We've got people from the fire service that are going to be there talking, but this seminar, this conference is designed for the civilian population to come and learn, and how can we prevent our homes from being a part of wildfire and fire safety danger. And because I'm one of the speakers, I speak during the lunchtime, so I'd only hit on wildfire stuff, but also hit on home fires. You know, my first year here, we had 7 fire-related deaths, which is a lot. And you can never be 100% sure, but I'm 99.9% sure that 6 of those people would still be alive if they had just had working smoke detectors in their home.
That was going to be my final, if you're one of these people that every one of your Facebook lives has that beeping fire detector in the background because it either work or you took the battery out because your wife got tired of it going off when she was cooking.
Yep.
Guys, those save lives. And there are regulations to how many you need to have in your house. So let's go ahead and let's touch on that, because, having just one in the very back corner of your house is going to be useless if the opposite side's on fire.
Well, so thanks for bringing that up, because I don't have authority over private property. The only thing I have authority over is commercial businesses, commercial properties, businesses, and 4 or more family dwellings. But if you call my office and ask me to come do a safety survey, which I've gotten quite a few, I will come do a safety survey, a fire safety survey of your home, and tell you where to put the smoke detectors. But you have, like here you have one right there that is basically coming from, I guess, where your kitchen area is into the living room. So there's one there. You want to have them in the hallway that go to your bedrooms. And if you want to have them in your bedrooms, obviously, but you want to look at where is the most likely place for a fire to start. And they normally don't start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They usually start at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're sleeping. So where are you going to hear it at? And technology has gotten good enough that, these standalone, what we call standalone smoke detectors, they're not hardwired in. You can Bluetooth them together so that if that smoke detector right there starts going off, it's going to set off the one that's in your bedroom so that you know that there's a fire there.
Yeah, and there's also out there where when it goes off, it notifies 911 and all that good stuff. Yeah. And so there's so many options out there. There's no reason for not having one of those in place to be.
If it's one of those situations where you're elderly or you just don't know how to do it, give my office a call. I will find you some smoke detectors. I will come install them for you.
Most fire departments offer them several times a year, especially during Fire Safety Week. They generally have them. So ask your local fire department. If not, reach out to Kevin. He'll reach out to the fire departments and find them for you. And you can go down and get them for fairly affordable. I mean, it won't take but 2 posts, and we've got you some fire. So don't run unsafe. Let's be sure because we did have just recently a fatality middle of the night, and it was an elderly gentleman that didn't make it out. And of course, without knowing all the details, I don't know if it was lack of smoke, but I mean, even if you had a proper warning, you may not make it out, even if you heard the fire alarm. So the quicker, the better.
Yeah. So I know this is kind of grim to say, but man, I'm tired of pulling dead people out of burnt buildings, man.
Amen.
It's just, I've had too much death, destruction, and chaos. I got a little busy after 9/11. I retired from the Army in October of 2024. So I've had enough of that, man.
Right.
And it breaks my heart every time I see it. And so Yeah, please do. Again, that conference is on September 11th.
Right.
It's posted on my page. I know you shared it. I'm going to leave you another flyer just in case. But yeah, that conference is not for the fire service. It is for the civilians, for not only, it's primarily wildfire prevention, but I'll also get into home prevention during my talk as well. So please try to show up. I think it's $20 a person to register, but that gets you a really good lunch meal. So it's money well spent, and I hope to see a lot of people this year.
And, of course, I hope to have you on as we get closer to that. We've still got about 2 or 3 weeks before that gets here, so maybe we'll get you back on closer time, refresh people's memory, maybe even bring a couple of the guest speakers on, and so we can address some of the areas.
Yeah, I know Mr. Watson with the Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Office. I know he'd love to come on and talk about that stuff and talk about what he does in his office, because a lot of people don't know that he exists, and he's a great resource to have. He's got a lot of knowledge. He wants to help people. I try to surround myself and work with people that want to be servants just like I do.
Right.
I don't hang around the folks that have their own, personal agendas, and they want to accumulate power, and they want to tell people to do what to do just because they can. Right. That's not who I surround myself with. I surround myself with other like-minded people that want to serve this community.
Well, our cat's over there whining at the door, I guess, because he tells us that we've been. And agree, because that network, if you have anything with selfish intentions in it, it corrupts the network. And if you have everybody with pure intentions in the network, then you can't help but be progressive and move forward. And you realize that things aren't stagnant. Everything's always changing, especially in the fire service. I mean, things are always changing. Things are real time. And it's really good to stay plugged in, because you can save a lot of lives. And, of course, most definitely we'll get you on the show, and we can speak more, like I said, once we get there, because there's a lot. When I went in the fire service, I was sort of like one of those things. Okay, well, you hold the water at the hose and you just go at it. You see some really gnarly
the wet stuff on the hot stuff. Yeah, how hard can that be?
Yeah, and you get to see some pretty gnarly car crashes when you go out there. But you really get into the fire service. Matter of fact, I've had guys that have gone through the academy, through the training and stuff, and they'll tell you this is the hardest I've ever. And I've been a lawyer, I've been a doctor, I've been this and I've been that, and this is the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Yeah. So it's more than just that. So come find out, be in the know, so when you're fighting a fire, you're not panicking.
Yep.
You're doing it from a confident stance. And also, when the fire department does show up, someone on scene that can talk about the addressing of the situation in a proper manner, that speeds up the response like this, instead of having the commanding officers run out and get an evaluation and come back and
make a lot of critical decisions in the period of about 10 seconds.
Just like that right there. If they walk up and you could tell them exactly all the factors involved, that can help them very quickly assess the situation. Absolutely. Kevin, I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for being the first one in our studio, man. I love it.
Well, I do have a question.
What's that?
On your intro, I saw a rooster. Is that rooster here? Do I need to inspect it, or you have anything to do?
I respectably.
I know.
I plead the fifth.
I know that's a hot button subject right now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the only rooster we have, that was an AI rooster. The only the only one I got on property is on Mo back here. And
all right. So we're good.
I've got one rooster, and I got a bunch of hens. We said mowing his hose, and that's what he's out there happy. He ain't got nobody to fight with except for a bunch of wives. I guess you call it his concubine. Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll have you back on, and guys, don't burn. Oh, let's get back to the people that pay for this. I almost jumped off here too soon. Can't do that.
Man.
We got people that pay good money. Tracks, let me tell you guys, they don't have the special up, but they got something delicious coming, and I'm going to take them at their word. If you go over there and eat a scratch cooking, guys, it is the best in town. If you love scratch cooking, it's not like going out to eat. It's like going over somebody's house to eat. 100 North Main at Tracks, just as you cross the railroad tracks, look to your right, find a parking spot, go in there. And if you're there when a train goes by, you get a free scoop of ice cream. If you're first in line, you get a free scoop of ice cream. Oh, it is good. And it's like a Brahms in there. I mean, they got all the different kinds of flavors.
That soda shop, that's legit.
That's legit.
That is legit, man.
It's the place to go. And the two salty broads are fun to get to know. If you ever been around them, they love to give me a hard time. We got Roma's lunch specials right there. And I'll tell you right now, if you can't find nothing good to eat on this menu, I tell you what, I've never heard anybody talk bad about any food that comes out of here.
Hey, I've got a daughter. We went on a cruise. She loves Italian food so much. She had spaghetti for breakfast, lunch, and dinner one day.
Well, right there, there's the next place to take that. That's going to be your next outing right there. Roma's, like I said, I've never heard a bad review. Y'all go out and check it out. They're at the 519 East Garland Street, Suite 101. You can't miss it. It's going to be always crowded. You just see the parking spots. You'll know where you're in the right spot. We got VZ Equipment Rentals, 15% off. If you tell them that you heard it right here on VZ TV, 903-376-5818. Ask for Julio. And if y'all been seeing all the good work that Jamie Sherman and Kim Sherman have been doing around Grand Slam, they did the Dairy Bar, they did Salt Lickers, go find them on Facebook, guys. And if you tell them you saw it on VZ TV, get 20% off. 214-434-8012. And there's the two of them right there. They got a new van. It's sort of pimping, man. I like their new van.
They do the air ducts thing. It's a while. I can't wait till winter gets here. But one of the big calls fire departments get is whenever people when they transition from air conditioning, they turn that heater on for the first time. It'll burn all that dust and start get their smoke detectors going off. Hey, give these folks a call like Octoberish, Novemberish. Let them clean your air ducts. Won't have that problem.
Hey, there you go, guys. You heard it right here. This will stop that from going off, and you get to that nasty smell anyway. You always smell it. So go check them out. Thank you, Jamie and Kim, for always supporting VZTV. We got Milano's Pizza. I'm telling you right now, my family dined on that family special that you see right there on the board. Y'all go check them out. And if you want some chicken, they got chicken too. Katie, our regular on the show, she loves their honey butter biscuits. So y'all go check it out. They're right down there at 403 East Garland Street. Or if you want to get your to-go order going, 903-962-6060. They do deliver. We got the $7 big meal deal down there at Sonic. I think that's still the same one. I'm telling you right now, that's a lot of food for $7.
They changed it. Instead of the chicken nuggets, hot fudge sundae, bro. I got it. I didn't get home in time for supper, so I got it last night. And that hot fudge sundae hit the spot, man. I'm
going to tell you right now, I didn't think you could make that much better, but if you put a hot fudge sundae in there, that's my go-to, man. That's my go-to. Y'all go get that $7 big meal deal and that hot fudge sundae. Go tell them at Graceland that you saw it on VZTV and it was referred to you by the fire marshal. We got the Dairy Bar. It is Taco Tuesday. And again, go down there to the Dairy Bar and check out the new floors that were nicely shined by Sherman Floor Care. This place is not just a hometown restaurant, a mom and pop. This is a hometown hangout. It's been around forever. If you go in there, it still feels the same as it was back when I was a kid going in there after high school. And I mean, we want to thank the owners that have preserved that and that have kept it going on. It's under no ownership, but I'm telling you right now, the same hometown feel is right there in every booth that you sit in. The VZTV Simulated Touring League is coming soon. We're going to have coaches versus team. We're going to have the Graceland golfing crew come out here, and they're going to take on the coaches, prove who's got the bragging rights. And so y'all be sure and check that out. That's coming in September. We're still polishing out all the details, but the good thing about this format, when we get it perfect, y'all be seeing it. If you are a golf player and you are good at that, get signed up for the best. Are you a golfer, Kevin?
Well, you had me at if you are a golfer and I was there, but then you said and you're good at it. I came off the list.
Well, I'm good is open to interpretation. We're trying to find out who's the best in Van Zandt County and the surrounding area is best in business. It's the battle of business. You know, you got a whole crew. Even if it's not you, put Sharon on a stick. Tell her get out there and knock out, work your frustrations out on
and bring Michelle and have them stare down the competition.
Oh, that would be that. I don't know if that'd be an unfair advantage because she is pretty intimidating. But anyway, y'all get signed up for the Battle of the Businesses. It's going to be hosted by our buddy over there at the the Eagles Nest Golf Lounge. Guys, it is such a good environment. Come in there, have fun. It is a networking opportunity where businesses get to meet businesses, have fun on a golf course without having to walk a mile, without raining, shining, sunburn. You get to come in there and relax. And you know what?
Air conditioning?
It's air conditioned. And so get involved. Give us a call. Call Ryan on there and get signed up and pay. We got a lot of people that signed up, said they want to, but you got to pay. If you got to pay to get in. But guess what? If you win, you don't have to pay your entry fee next time. It's a King of the Hill type deal. I'm going to build a Stanley Cup style trophy.
Very nice.
And if you win, you get to stay in and you get to put your name on that trophy as many times as you can.
like that.
So-
Sounds. Or you're not going to go IndyCar where you put their face on there.
You know what? I might make them have to drink some soured milk. That's what, soy milk. We'll make them drink soy milk. Yeah, there we go. Just like IndyCar. Anyway, guys, y'all come over here. Get on with the battle of the businesses. Show us that you got the best stick around or that it works for you. It's on the payroll. Come sign up now. We got the VZTV Blitz Zone with Friday Night Lights kicking on. You know what? As I was talking to my buddy Kevin here, we've gotten so big, we don't want to just cover one school. We want to cover everybody. Think Red Zone, ESPN, except for we're going to put our own spin on it. We're calling it VZTV Blitz Zone. We're going to follow all schools around us in the area. We're going to start with 4 or 5 as we grow, and we're going to continue to follow them. And you get to keep up with everybody that's playing on Friday night. It's going to be the best Friday night coverage that you've ever seen in your life. Keep up, catch up, and watch us on this Friday Night Live Blitz Zone. And I guess since I'm seeing our faces, we're done with that. You know what's fun? When we first started this, I didn't know if anybody was going to buy in and support this. And, man, you can see we are just swamped with
Hey, those
sponsors.
are some good sponsors, man.
And-
like the Dairy Bar, if you can't find something that you like at the Dairy Bar, you ain't from around
Well,
here.
like I tell everybody, if you can't find nothing to eat over there, come over here and I'll be glad to kick you in the nuts because you ain't right. You know, you need a hard reset and we'll get you going right because there ain't nothing. Their sauce, our sauce is so good that the pastor at our church at Main Street preaches about the salsa. I mean, you know, I think in his version of the first miracle, it was water into Dairy Bar salsa. It wasn't wine. So, guys, you just don't know. And honestly, if you go up there and get a taco plate, chips and dip comes with every Mexican plate. So go up there. You're not going to regret it. I'm just telling you.
For sure.
Kevin, I appreciate you so much, my man. I look forward to having you on the show. It's always fun. And, of course, like I told you, I can't think of a better guest to be our first one to break in the new in-home studio. Thanks so much.
And I greatly appreciate it, man, anytime.
And so I guess, guys, we're going to sign off for today. Corbin's got a lot of work around here, a lot of do tweakings and touch-ups. So we're going to get out of his hair. I've got a lot of work to do. We're going to get off here. We'll see y'all tomorrow.